I want to say that first, welcome to the video clip. Like, share, and subscribe. We have to do that and get that out the way. And if you dislike the video, double hit that dislike button. Hit it, light it up, and hit it again so it can be unlight up so it can really know you don't like it. I was recently on the Hippy Dippy recruitment channel. I was there and I don't feel that I did well. Maybe because I thought it was going to be more free form. I didn't think a lot of people were going to come with written opening and closing statements, but you live and you learn. I've had debates on this channel, conversations on this channel where it was just one-on-one, and I felt that I've done well. But, maybe I need to actually start brushing up on those because I do want to get on more panel shows. I found out a old friend of the channel, Joe Lewis, was actually going to be on the channel, and I don't have that clip. You know what? Yeah, I do have that clip. Let's actually pull that up. And I want to say thank you to Icon for actually giving me this clip. This is, if you don't know what this clip is, here. This is our introduction to our boy Joe Lewis. Here we go.
Political systems in society based on who you are. You are a white, I'm assuming middle class Asian American.
He must have misspoke, right?
White presenting, I should say.
You know what, dude? Mad props for the double down. Call him a fucking cracker, man. Fuck.
No, I'm sorry. No, for real. That's what Joe Lewis. Joe Lewis actually said that. He literally called this Asian man white. I don't know what else to say. Like, what? So let's go over. And I actually clipped it together. I did some pre-stream work, guys. I know, right? Let's do some pre-stream work. And we're going to actually cover Joe Lewis talking about the opening question of which one is better for the who is going to be a better president. Let's go.
I think Trump is a better option for the world unironically, but not in the traditional way that those on the right may argue.
Now, Joe Lewis has actually expressed that he is somebody who is on the left. And the first words out of his mouth was, Trump is a better president. Wait, what?
There'll be lots of death, compromise, and ruin relationships internationally, along with other obvious and unobvious loss. At the end, the U.S. hegemon will be perceived in its full form, which puts the rest of the world in a crossroads where they can either reject it or just embrace it, which I believe.
So this guy's bright idea is for Trump to be president. So it can be death, destruction. It can be people who are hurt and get so mad at the U.S. that the U.S. standing in the world would fall. What? What? This man wants to cause harm to people to say U.S. bad. That's got to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The dumbest thing I've ever heard. This man literally wanted to said, hey, the U.S. gonna lose standing in the world if Trump gets elected, and people are gonna be hurt. Let's let him continue, because remember I cut this up. Let's go.
Would be a fool's errand. With Harris, the U.S. idea of normalcy will continue to decline at the same pace it's currently in until you see some type of significant fallout in places like Ukraine or the Middle East broadly. Then you'll see it spiraling faster and faster, and then due to that economic decline, the United States will engage into more risky behaviors in the attempt to maintain normalcy. Trump will hurt our allies and enemies the most, severing international relationships for sure. And in the next 3 years of that, China will begin to surpass the United States and a bunch of different economic metrics as the United States begins to decline.
So, what he wants is to have the U.S. decline and China rise. You know China isn't a good place, dog. You understand that, right? You know the free speech that you enjoy talking about how bad the Biden administration is. That same free speech that you're espousing will get you disappeared in China. Heck, your brown skin will get you disappeared in China. They don't like that, dog. Why would you praise a country for something that they want to do, that is bad? Oh yeah, America bad. America bad. This is weird. This stuff is just weird. And this is somebody who claims to be on the left that wants black liberation under authoritarian government that have been known to put minorities in camps, to over police minorities. You're okay with China taking over? Come on now. And that little quip about, well, something may happen in the Middle East or something may happen in Ukraine and something did happen under Biden. And it turned out to be a better situation than under Trump. You openly admit that Trump would hurt our allies or hurt our countries that we're friends with. Also, you can say America bad. Let's go.
And we're talking things like general assets for Americans and the dollar broadly. I think neither of those futures are good options for Americans.
So he would want for people to have a worse outcome just to prove the Democrats are bad. He would do that. How? Why would you say some stupid stuff like this? Why would you want people to be hurt just to prove your point? Why? That's incredibly short-sighted. That's incredibly just, you know what? Screw you. I'm going to be right. Like that's how that sounds, man. You sound like somebody that just, well, you know, it's going to hurt other people. So, you know, screw them. Screw them. That's weird. But let's go back. This is his closing statement about who will be better.
I think it was very clear and demonstrable within this conversation that neither side of this, Kamala Harris supporters and Trump supporters, are able to clearly show to the people watching at home that either of those two people are great futures for America. I do appreciate a Canadian is able to articulate their argument, but he is also an individual engaging in this.
Now, I'm not going to accuse this man of fence sitting. I'm not going to do that. Well, neither one was actually good. We have proof. Trump is not an unknown quantity. We had a global pandemic, which shows the inefficiency that you would see with Trump. We have that data, dog. That was something that we have history of. We have the videos of how he says you need to put bleach inside of you and you need to use UV lights. Before that, we have the trade deficits that he caused because of his tariffs, because he wanted to hurt China. Under the Biden administration, which Harris doesn't have much power, but she will be elected the vice president. In this time, you have to be able to go along with the agenda that the president has. We saw a recovery that is better than what's happened across the globe. We saw, for all the lefties that get upset about the war in Israel, we saw a somewhat measured response, and we saw how when Biden was unhappy with what Israel was doing, they at least tried to slow down the weapons. And their reports how Israel saying, you're not giving us weapons like we need to. Their reports. Your favorite streamer won't tell you that. We have the pressure that is being put on, Israel to, not be as stupid as they trying to be. We have the fighting back of Ukraine over a tyrannical government in Russia, which if it was the US, y'all will be crying all types of stuff, but because Russia was somewhat associated with the Soviet Union, well, they must be good. Man, the NLRB, the National Labor Relations Board, has grown leaps and bounds. The union growth has increased. But a lot of you online leftists, y'all don't want to actually work jobs, so we shouldn't have to work. Like, no. You need to contribute to society. As much as a left as I am, you need to also know that you need to contribute to society. Y'all mad about the Biden administration when your lives are better. But let's continue.
System as a non-citizen. He is not an American. So while I think it's a very appreciative that he's able to articulate those things, he will only be able to deal with these things by proxy. He won't be somebody who's able to be living through these things and engaging with these things in a substantive manner.
All through the point, this guy right here was talking about how Canada is affected by U.S. policy. The world is affected by U.S. policy. Wasn't that one of the points that he made in his opening? That the world is affected by U.S. policy. That's why he wants the U.S. to lose strength in the world, because everybody will start to hate the U.S. and America bad. Yeah, he's trying hard to sound smart and it's not. He's failing. But let's go.
In social, political, and economic institutions. That being said, I think it's very clear that neither candidate is good for the future of the United States. I think the discourse within this conversation and the inability.
It was stated that it seemed like Joe Lewis was commanding the scene. No, some of us was just unimaginably surprised of how stupid he sounded. It's the reason why I have myself muted, because when I was doing the stream, I was actually talking to you guys while I was doing the stream, because I didn't, I'm streaming on my channel too. I'm trying to make sure I actually show, my opinion of it. But this sounds just like both bad, don't vote. Mind you, the people that are saying that, not only do they have something to lose, but the people that they care about also having something to lose, they're willing to throw them under the bus to say America bad, both parties bad, both parties do the same thing. Under Joe Biden, Roe versus Wade was overturned. As if a president has fiat power to make everything that he wants to do law. Well, I guess with 2025, that's what Donald Trump is trying to do, but A lot of these people, I ask you, and I will give Joe Lewis this. Later on, you're gonna see in this video that he brings up a point about the, Secretary of or the Department of Education. But just because you can read off a point doesn't mean you actually understand civics. But let's go. Maybe he'll make some last points.
For the right and the left, I'm saying left and right broadly in this case, to engage with the criticisms that both of the sides are presenting shows that neither of these candidates are substantively good for the country. And that's concerning considering the geopolitical consequences that are very clear within the next 4 to 16 years of this country.
Bro, here, let me just say this. They're trying to make sure that there are no more elections. Trump has even came out and said it. He said, oh, you don't have to vote one more time, then you have to vote at all. Why would you even allow that to slip from your lips? There is some people in the conservative party, and I'm not talking about the rank and file conservatives, because they're buying into something that I don't think they fully know what they're going to buy into. But there are some people that are leading the conservative party that want to make sure you go back in chains, dog. And I don't mean this economic slavery. No, they want you back in chains. They're going to beat you and call you, your name is Toby. But you're going to be one of the good ones, right? Because you said that I didn't like either one of them. But I said I wanted Trump to be president. I don't know. Well, let's continue. This is the opening statement about the Department of Education. Let's go.
Joe Lewis, take it away.
The Department of Education has a lot of limitations.
I messed this up.
This does not directly mean doing completely away with the offices within them, which I'm sure we'll be able to have time to parse out in terms of the semantical differences. The General Education Provisions Act prohibits the federal government from exerting control over curriculum, programs, and educational practices. This allows them to influence policy, but they cannot overtly mandate particular curriculum changes. Their funding comes from appropriations, which means
and this is just like me being honest. He's effectively reading a Wikipedia, and I'm not gonna say that that's either good or bad. I'm not. But he's reading it Wikipedia. That doesn't do anything about getting rid of the Department of Education.
Means broadly their funding will change based upon the makeup of Congress. There are also limitations when it comes to the budget, since, as Cypher brought up, Title I is very expensive to implement, but that also is a limitation because of the budgetary constraints within that. So it's very difficult to fund Title I substantively. Another example of this is with Title IX. The department has also limited its compliance reviews and it's responding to complaints. OCR, which is the wing of the Department of Education that's responsible for enforcing civil rights, relies on schools' voluntary voluntary implementation of corrective action, and its enforcement is limited to the legal challenges.
So what we've heard right now is that the Department of Education bad because, well, they can't mandate certain things just off rip for everybody in the country, which has its pros and cons. Also, it's expensive. What? That sounds like, one, I don't think it's a good idea. Me personally, don't think that's a good idea to have it where we would mandate a certain set of curriculum for the whole country, because I know that power can be used in a weird and very destructive way. Very, literally, Project 2025. We know what's going on. But let's go.
In place, which means that you might even have somebody file a formal complaint, but legal challenges will cause that to drag. Education, in my opinion, should be left to the states. However, it's reasonable to recognize that there's a through line that education, in particular K through 12, is important for shaping the future of social, political, and economic institutions. Consistency of topics that need to be substantively taught in order to engage in American social, political, and economic institutions is important. I think it's something that we should encourage. So if you want to, like, general of my take, if all of that was just words to you,
pointing out the bad thing doesn't excuse the bad thing. You use all of that time to say the Department of Education can't enforce certain things, which rightly should be left to the states. There are some things that should be a requirement, a level of math, science that should be a requirement, but the out and out spelling of the curriculum, no, dog. But you didn't make a point either way. You just said they can't do it. They can't enforce certain things. Cool, great. That's what the 9th Amendment is. That's what the 10th Amendment is what, oh, well, 10th Amendment is the last cause, but that's what the 9th Amendment is. That's something that you need to that we have that as part of our founding document. But let's go.
Support the repealing of the Department of Education Organization Act of 1979
Oh,
and
sorry.
the redistribution of responsibilities within the other department.
Now, I brought this up because, like, this is like supposedly a lefty or for African American liberation and stuff like that. I don't have a personal grudge against him. I mean, like, I did do a review of that video that that conversation that him and Rico Rance had with him, and the points that he made are so stupid. I don't know what else to say about it. But in the end, in the very end, somebody like this is just trash. Because what they don't want, they don't even want accelerationism. They want to be seen as the head of the vanguard. They want, I was right and I should be the leader. They want to seem smarter than what they actually are. I wish I could have found that clip because I couldn't search the transcript. The transcript wasn't there. But this man at one point said, we should eliminate school altogether. We should eliminate bedtime. Literally making the joke. And I don't even know if he was serious or not because all of the BS that he puts up. You can go and watch the video. It's on my channel right now. And it's the hippy dippy recruitment. But like literally, and I will admit that I didn't do as well as I wanted to. But when you have people that do online debate like this, I don't know, man. Sometimes I think it's just for the cameras. And I'm a showman. But like this, it's just weird, dog. It's weird. It's weird. But anyway, we're going to cut this video segment here. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching this video clip. And if you're watching this stream, stay along. We're going to have some fun. Keep going. I want to say thank you to all my Patreon supporters and my Twitch subscribers. Join the Guardians, become a member, or become a subscriber on YouTube, Patreon, and help support the channel. Thank you for watching this video, and the next one should be popping up on your screen. Subscribe, and if you haven't checked it out and want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon. Thanks.